Good evening, everyone. I am Mark, your fat friend,
And I'm James, your black friend,
and this is the Fat and Black Connection.
where we talk about anything and everything. Well, as long as it's interesting to us.
And first and foremost, it is a new year. It is 2023, 2023, to be clear. Uh,
Yes.
it is
Happy New
January
Year.
4th, 2023. And I thought, let's start the new year in a new way. And as you can see, we have a new countdown video, as well as a custom overlay.
Oh, wow. Look at
Yeah,
that. Look
yeah.
at that.
Yes, I'm in the process of learning how to make these kinds of things and doing my best. So that's what I made today is a countdown video in a custom overlay. Let's take a look at what James made. Little work to go there, bud. Little work.
Well, I really just need music to it.
I would say to have the images change a little bit faster, but I think you're on a good path.
That's like I was trying to make it the length, and yeah, so yeah, they take a little while. I need to see if I can maybe add some stuff that doesn't look some of the animation stuff was kind of weird looking when I was trying to play around with some of them. So, but I'll get in there, and I just, like I said, add music to it and maybe make some of those transitions.
Yeah, you know what you could do is you could always add like the 97 to now music and just throw that.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
We've got Tyrus checking in. Good
Sup,
evening,
y'all?
sir. Welcome to the show. So yeah, we're trying to every year here we're trying to get a little bit better, and I guess Tyrus is experiencing some stormy weather.
Oh, is it it's I guess they said it was supposed to start at around 5 o'clock. So
I haven't been keeping up with the Bay Area weather because, well, don't live there.
yeah.
Don't really care.
But
Uh,
if it's what it says, it's what they're talking about. It's gonna hit you too, like as far as like
oh,
the
oh,
snow and everything.
I'm well aware. So
Yeah,
speaking of weather, let's talk about a little bit of weather. Um,
let's talk
and
about the weather.
and before we get there, just to kind of see what's going on in the Bay Area, I pulled up one of my favorite maps to utilize, and I'll get rid of the overlay so that we can see this a little bit better. So this is Bing Maps. They actually Bing does something well, and their maps look good. So this is the Bay Area. We know Tyrus. I'm not going to give away his specific location, but he lives in this general area out here. And let's take a look what we've got going for the next 4 hours, rain wise. Oh,
Yikes!
yeah, a lot. I mean, it says light, so and it looks like it'll start clearing up around you know midnightish maybe. And what that translates into up here for me in the Reno, northern Nevada area, if we take a look at it from a radar perspective, which shows us the rain, snow, and all of that stuff. Uh, Looks like it's going to stall up in the Sierras, which is good.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
someone
oh,
will get on it.
oh no.
Yeah,
It's coming. It's
yeah.
coming. And of course, that's just over the next 4 hours. There are ways to look at more, but it's been from a temperature perspective, it has been very cold up here, man. Tonight we're looking at in the mid 20s. Um, Comparatively, looking at the Vegas area, how are you doing down there? Oh, 47 degrees.
Yeah,
So it's, for Vegas, cold.
cold. Yeah,
And the Bay Area, still a balmy 45 in Stockton, 45 Manteca, San Jose 43. So, It's not the worst weather I've seen in the Bay Area, but I get it. You know, they're not used. The Bay Area is used to getting the majority of their water from us in the Sierras. So, you know, what can
But
you
yeah,
do?
rain is needed.
Indeed, indeed. And we're going to talk a little bit about precipitation here in a couple of minutes, actually. I watched an interesting video earlier today that I shared with you, and I want to talk about it. But before we get to that, just as a quick reminder for those of you that might be new or maybe not, this is a live and interactive broadcast. And what that means is we're live. It's 8:08 on the West Coast, left coast, and it's January 4th, 2023.
Yeah.
So if you are watching right now and over the next hour or so that we're live, feel free to comment. And hey, if you're watching this after the fact, you can comment all you want as well. Just won't impact the show. So tonight, I'll be drinking some box wine.
It says they were advised to stay home, apparently. So, little rain never hurt nobody.
You know what? Okay, hold on. So this last weekend, so on Friday, I was supposed to have Tesla come out to my house to install solar.
Wait, I thought that was supposed to be like a number of months ago.
It was supposed to be a couple weeks ago, and they canceled, rescheduled, and so it was supposed to be on Friday. They're supposed to come out and do the installation and everything. And they came out, and they worked for a couple of hours, and then it got a little windy, and they said they had to stop. However, about 2 hours after they left, very large storm hit that proceeded to last pretty much the majority of the weekend. We got down here at the lower elevation of Reno. At my house, we got probably 9 inches of snow, which that's extremely a lot for
It's
down.
a lot, yeah.
If we get like 3 inches in the storm, that's huge. So to get 9 inches in one storm over a matter of like 2 days, basically,
That's deep.
my car is still buried.
Wait, the Jeep is buried?
Yes, the Jeep is.
Yikes!
I unburied my wife's car
Of course.
because I work from home. She has to go into the office.
Yeah.
So I unburied her car so she could go in.
They plowed all the streets and everything, though, right?
No. So it was such a bad storm that the city of Reno is still trying to get streets cleared. My street, as of today, still hadn't been cleared.
What?
Yeah.
So wait, so how's she been getting? So she's just been having to drive through it?
So we have snow tires and
all that good stuff.
4-wheel drive and all of
Right.
that. So it's fun. I went to so here's how much fun it was. So the first day it's snowing, it happens mostly in the afternoon and evening. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to worry about sidewalks or anything like that. The next day, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to get out there and remove some of the snow. So I have this machine called a Snow Joe. It's kind of like it's like a snowblower, but it's like handheld and it's really easy and it's battery powered.
Yeah.
So I take that sucker out there and I'm working with it for good 30 minutes. Battery dies, so I got to take it back in, get it charged up. I go out with my shovel and I do a couple scoops with my shovel. And I go back inside, let stuff charge up, go back out for a round 2. And my Snow Joe, I start using it again, and I can smell what smells like some burning, electrical, burning. And I'm like, okay, so this thing is done. So then I grab my shovel, and I'm like, okay, well, I've got to get some more. And my shovel broke. So now I'm shovelless.
Oh, man.
Snow Joe-less.
Oh, bro.
And I'm just over it at this point.
Any of your neighbors got anything that can help you out?
I didn't even want to ask because it was so much. And I looked around my neighborhood and there was only like 1 or 2 houses where the people had actually like gone out and done it. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm over it. Yeah. Like I put forth effort and I felt no reward. Now the next day, I was finally like, okay, I'm going to go to Home Depot and buy a snowblower, like a better one. Like my wife and I, we talked about, okay, let's spend a couple $100 and let's get a good one.
Yeah, because it'll last you for a while.
So I get to Home Depot and they have 3 left in stock.
Ooh.
And guess how much those ones cost?
What, like 400 or 500?
Keep going.
A G?
Keep going.
What, like 1,400?
Keep going.
2,000?
$17.99.
Holy moly!
Yeah. So, needless to say, I looked around and saw there were shovels on the shelf. Grabbed 2 shovels because I was like, okay, well, if another one breaks, I'll have a backup. So I came home, did some more shoveling. At least was able to, get the area around my wife's car ready so she'd be able to go to work. Got some of the sidewalk done, threw out some ice melt, and said, I'm calling it good. And over the last 2 days, I've gone out and done some more shoveling here and there, but it's crazy. We had trash pickup yesterday, and there was serious concern that Waste Management might not come because of how bad the roads were. They did come, and it was fun watching them traverse our neighborhood. I'm just glad that my cars are up in my driveway and not on a sidewalk or anything, or on the street, because
they were. I mean, was it like? Are they like fishtailing?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. So I'm sorry, Tyrus, that you're getting a little bit of rain. And oh no, we've got to stay inside our houses because it's gonna rain.
Well, you remember a number of years ago, they shut down schools because it started raining so bad.
Yeah, well, that's California for you, right? I mean,
I was like, what? When I was a kid, we used to have to go to school in the rain.
So I'm also going to be drinking my box wine out of my Fat and Black Connection pint glass.
Yay!
So let's pour some wine, shall we?
What does this mean, Tyrus? It's a category storm? What category is it? I heard from a friend they said category 5 or something like that, but I don't know.
I didn't know storms were categorized, just like they now talk about atmospheric rivers.
Listen, I don't know. That's what I heard. Because my dad is still in California. I called him. I was asking him about that. I talked to my buddy Nate earlier today. He was telling me the same thing, that it was like a category. He said like category. They're saying it's a category 5. It's supposed to come in, and apparently it's there now. So, what kind of wine is it?
So this is a Pinot Grigio by Botabox.
Botabox.
You should be able to find this at your neighborhood Costco.
Yeah, maybe not at my Costco. But I also don't drink wine, so
that's true. Your Costco is pretty bootsy.
Yeah, for being it's fairly brand new, and I'm like, how do you not have like the best of the best?
Great question. So let's continue talking about some interesting stuff, shall we? So I'm going to throw up an image that I find this video that I watched today very, very interesting. So this is obviously the world, and if you hadn't seen the video, what would you have guessed the different colors are based on, the reds, oranges, yellows, things of that nature?
If I hadn't watched it, I'd have probably thought it was like heat or something. But since I did watch it, that's population.
That is population. So this is the world, and as you can see, there are areas of the world that are extremely densely populated. No surprise, India. No surprise, China. No surprise, places like Europe and whatnot.
Right.
What this imagery is to call out is not where it's densely populated, but rather look at some of these areas that are not so much, and especially here where you have almost a straight line.
Yeah.
In Africa, and for those of you that don't know your geography very well, that is the Sahara Desert.
Yeah, that's just a big ass sandbox.
Yeah. So it makes sense that there probably would not be a lot of population there. However, this next one I found is what really got me interested and was like, okay, I'm going to watch this video. This is the United States.
Yeah.
There is basically a line of demarcation to say, hey, east and west, right? And so as you can see, this is again just looking at population. Mexico, heavily populated.
Right.
East, pretty much, just west of the Mississippi and east,
Full
up, right? The West Coast, pretty full up, right?
Yeah.
Here's that line of demarcation. So on the eastern side, you can see there are all these major cities, right? Austin,
Yeah.
San Antonio, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, Wichita, Omaha, Lincoln, Sioux Falls, Fargo, Winnipeg. So that's kind of where you have a lot of those major population centers. Then you go to the west of that, and you don't have a whole lot.
Yeah. That was part that like blew my mind.
So this is the US at night. And you
Yeah.
can see based on like the light sources where major cities are. You can see where the San Francisco Bay Area is down here. You can
Yeah,
see
like
LA,
LA.
San Diego.
That's at like Atlanta, isn't it? That big kind of spiderwebby area right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
That might be Hotlanta.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
Yeah.
20% of the population of the United States lives west of that line we were talking about. So 1 in 5 Americans. So 4 out of 5 Americans live east of that line.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That is absolutely bonkers. And I never, like, today was my, how old were you when you learned this? I was today. Yeah.
I was today years old. Yeah. Cause I didn't even I guess it's one of those things you don't really think about. You know what I'm saying? Like here's
the more crazy thing. So
Right.
you look at where that line was. Now we have a new line right over on the show on the West Coast. So 50 million Americans live in that left side of the United States, the West Coast, between Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, the major hubs of the West Coast, 50 million, 40 of which, or just shy of 40 of which, live in California.
Right.
So approximately 10 million in Washington and Oregon.
Right.
The rest of that swath in the middle, 30 million Americans cover.
That's it.
1/3, about 1/3 of the size of the U.S.
That is, and that, what do they say? That's like less than the population of Long Island.
No, New York City.
Oh, New York City. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought they said Long Island or something like
that. Or maybe New York proper. I can't remember. But
yeah, it was something along those lines. But I was like, yo, what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, then you got to look at then you got to kind of put it in perspective. I mean, you got a lot of desert land. You have a lot of mountainous terrain that's, kind of untamable, if you will.
Which you wouldn't be saying any of this if you hadn't already watched the video.
Well, no, I was thinking about it. Yeah, probably not. But I mean, but they didn't even talk about. They talked about like the mountains and stuff. But I was like, yo, that's actually true because there's, you got the
Rockies
and everything else, and that will
Sierra Nevada range.
Yeah, you have those mountains in between, so getting over those was that trek was treacherous in itself back in the wagon train days, and even today. Yeah, we probably have the tools and stuff to make those more livable and roads and all that kind of stuff in the mountains and such. But yeah, it's just it would be living there is just kind of bah.
So this is another interesting image. So this is showing you tree species of trees that live in the United States.
Yeah.
And you can see again where that line was, right? I mean, it's not exact, but it's pretty darn close, right?
Yeah.
To the left of that line, to the west of that line, you have anywhere between 0 to maybe 5 species of trees, where everywhere else in the East Coast and whatnot, you've got hundreds of species. Well, dozens of species, I should guess, scores of species. How much is a score, James?
I have zero clue.
20.
Oh, okay.
4 score and 7 years ago. It was 87 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what I didn't even know. I mean, I've heard that before, but I was like, I had no idea what the score was.
And Tyre says, is that a good chunk of the plains area? Probably. Now, this comes back to what we were talking about with weather and everything. This is a precipitation map showing
Yeah.
you approximately on annual how much rainfall these areas get. So there's the 100th meridian, which that line that we were showing before was actually the 99th meridian. But you can see east of the meridian, those areas on average are getting anywhere between, 40 to 80 inches of rain.
Yeah.
Where, if you look to the west, not so much, aside from, the northwest
Yeah.
and into the Montana, Idaho kind of area.
Yeah. You can see that's Death Valley down there in the red.
Yeah. 5 inches or less. Yeah. So ultimately, I thought this was an extremely interesting video, and it kind of blew my mind to see, how that very clear cut line, very similar to the Sahara. Obviously there are other areas of the world that we saw on that map that are unpopulated, right? Like Greenland, or I read
which is actually icy, and then Iceland is actually green.
When I was following up, and I read that 96% of Australia is unpopulated.
Yeah.
It's all in basically 4 cities along the coast, 3 on the
like
the
Melbourne,
East Coast and 1 on the
Melbourne, Sydney, was it
Brisbane, I think.
New South Wales or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. But ultimately, it's really interesting when you see obviously water is important.
Yeah. Well, like they talked about in that video, like the East Coast in that area, east of that 100th meridian, they can do. Apparently, I didn't even realize that corn was such a thirsty plant. But they can do corn there because there's a lot of water, and apparently, I didn't realize that corn needs a lot of water. And then, whereas you go west of that, there's a lot of wheat because wheat doesn't take as much water. So I was like, yo, I never even realized. It's crazy.
Indeed. So speaking of crazy, have you been following what's been going on in Congress?
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't follow politics all that much, every 2 years we have elections, and the House of Congress gets either reelected or new people get appointed. And, sometimes we have a shift in power. And we did this last time where the Republicans took back the House.
Yeah.
They have a narrow margin lead. I think they have 222 versus 218, I think, somewhere like that. Or 212. It's like 222 to 212.
It's
a very narrow margin.
Small.
So ultimately, what happens is there's a vote to decide who the Speaker of the House will be, and the person can only win by having half plus 1. So you have to have 200, in this case, 218 votes to win. Anything less, you can't win.
Oh boy!
And if there isn't a winner, there has to be another round of voting. So hold on. No, hold on. So we had 3 rounds of voting on yesterday, and these are those 3 rounds. So the Democrats are very firmly standing behind Representative Jeffries. Every single one of them voted for him. That's where we get that solid 212 votes. All 3 rounds yesterday.
Yep.
Representative McCarthy, who previously was the majority leader, but not the speaker.
Minority leader.
Yes, but even prior to that, he was a majority leader, but not a
Oh,
speaker.
that's right. Yeah.
That who was the Republican that was the speaker? Paul Ryan. When Paul Ryan was the Speaker of the House, McCarthy. He ran for vice president, and
that's right.
Yeah. So in the first round, we had 10 people peel off to vote for this Representative Biggs, and 9 voted for random other people. Round 2, they somehow solidified and completely threw those same 19 votes that didn't vote for McCarthy now decided to vote for Representative Jordan,
who didn't even want it. He doesn't even want the job.
And on the third round, McCarthy lost another vote and Jordan gained another vote. So 202 to 20. So we do not have a clear, concise, after day one, we did not have a clear, concise victor. Again, you got to get to that number 218. So McCarthy could lose 4 votes. The Republicans could throw 4 votes to anyone else and he could still win. Now we move to today, where the Congress went back in session at noon today, noon East Coast, to start again. And the thing to know is they can't really do anything until this is done.
Yeah, nothing can be done. Like the new members of Congress cannot even be sworn in yet, which is something that one of them. But anyway.
Yeah, and something else to kind of point out is that this is the first time since 1923 that a second vote was needed.
Yeah. Because then it was...
There have only been, I believe it's 8 times in U.S. history that multiple ballots were needed. 7 of those were prior to the Civil War.
Yeah, and then the only other, the Civil War, the one in the Civil War, it took 9 votes, I think it was.
That sounds right, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's only been, since the Civil War, there's only been 1 time, and that was 1923, until now. Which leads us to today, where on the 6th round of voting, Groundhog's Day has begun. And Bill Murray, they brought him out of mothball to come and onto C-SPAN, and McCarthy still does not have the votes after the 6th round today.
Was that
and as a matter of fact, he lost another vote. And something to point out here, you see how yesterday Representative Jordan was getting 19 and 20 votes.
Yeah.
Where today Representative Donalds is now having 20 votes, and 1 Republican voted present.
What was that they said in Hamilton? You don't have the votes. You don't have the votes.
You're gonna need congressional approval again. You don't have the votes.
Sometimes it makes you wonder.
So
this is like the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
And McCarthy has made it abundantly clear he's not going to step away.
Nope.
So either those 21 people need to come under heel and vote for him, or I don't know what's going to happen. And here's what happened today that I think actually might have hurt him is Trump came out and said, just vote for this guy. Let's go. I would not want Trump supporting me right now. Mm-mm. He is toxic, and he has announced that he's running for a second term. And again, this is not me stating that I'm some liberal left-wing Democrat. I don't think Trump is a good person to be running. I don't think he should be president again. I
thought that most of the time, this is the weirdest thing about that whole thing too. For me, it's been anytime I've seen somebody lose, they are basically kind of swept to the side and they find somebody new. He is the only person that I can think of, besides like Ross Perot when we were younger, who like ran multiple times and didn't win. But he's the only one that I can
Are
recall.
you talking about running and actually winning and then losing? I'm not sure I follow because Bob Dole ran multiple times. Uh, I mean, multiple candidates have run for president multiple times.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like when they actually. I mean, were they
You mean like Jimmy Carter, who won, served a term, and was gone
or
and didn't
like
come back?
yeah, for and then like the Herbert George Herbert, but or I don't remember his whole name, but he had one term and then
Herbert Walker
Walker. There you go.
Bush.
Yeah, he lost and then was kind of put to the side. That's because no, because I can't remember. Did Bob Dole? It's been so long. Did Bob Dole actually get the nomination?
Bob Dole has gotten the nomination before, yes.
And like multiple times to where when he ran for president, or was it? Did
No,
did
he
he
only got
lose in the
he only got the
primaries?
nomination once. He lost in the primary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I mean, I know multiple people have lost in the primaries and come back, like Biden, for example. He's one of those people.
Hillary
So
Clinton.
Hillary, yeah, she lost in primaries and came back and got the nomination, all that kind of stuff. I've seen those, but I'm talking about as far as like somebody who actually uh lost, who actually got the nomination, lost, and then came back. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
No, I'm not aware of anyone having ever won the nomination.
lost the election and then
Well,
actually come back to run for president again.
yeah, I am not aware of that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I was talking about. Because I know people have run multiple times, like, but they lost in the primaries. I get that part, but this whole thing is just kind of blowing my mind.
well, and he is going to have to go through the primary process, and likely there will be other Republican candidates. I would hope.
Yeah,
I
please.
I I'm thinking Ron DeSantis out of Florida will probably be one, and
I don't know what they've been talking about, but
I think he would be for the Republicans. I think he would be a good choice. Um, you know, I don't think I think Trump, unfortunately, partially because of his own doing, but also partially because I think of the political sphere that is negativity. I think he's just toxic. A lot of it his own doing, but some of it not. From the moment he was running and elected, it was said that he was colluding with Russia, which was never proven. So that's something that he had no control over, but it tainted him to an extent. But there are things that he did, many things that he did that
yeah.
he should not come back. And I think for the Republican Party, he's.
I thought for sure once he lost that election, I thought they were going to be like, okay, cool, we can, and be done with him. Like that's what I truly thought that was going to be it, because I was like, okay, like they lost, and they, they were always so scared of him, like tweeting or something, and I was like, what? Like, I mean, again, I'm not a politician, so I don't know. I mean, because people were worried about being primaried and all this other kind of stuff, but it's like, yo, like this man you should not be scared of your constituents. Well, no, you should be more scared of your constituents than you are the president.
I mean, obviously, I think that's dependent on what position we're talking about. If we're talking about a congressperson, yes, they should be more concerned about their constituents. If we're talking about a senator, that kind of goes both ways because the senator represents an entire state and is only one of two. So the president probably should have a little bit more sway in that regard. But that's where we need to go back to the old school way where senators were appointed by the governors of those states.
Oh, that's something I did not know about.
Oh yeah, that's actually a relatively recent change in the 20th century to say that it would be a general election.
Oh,
Before, the two senators from each state were appointed by the governors of those states. Because the whole concept of the House and the House is supposed to be the House of the people, right? That's where the general
yeah,
elections come in. The House of the Senate is supposed to be the state's House. That's why each state has two representatives,
right.
equal representation amongst 50 states, right? Regardless of size. And so that's why the governor was supposed to have that appointing power for that position. And that's where voting for your governor held a lot more weight back then.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow. Mess around, you might learn something.
Yes, yes. Here at the Fat and Black Connection, where we talk about geopolitical science and things of that nature. Speaking of geopolitical, uh, Disney Plus recently announced
How's that geopolitical?
a new. I think it's going to be a documentary coming out on the life and times of Stan Lee.
Stan Lee. Yo,
Um,
the trailer is awesome. It's
yeah,
like all his little cameos throughout the Marvel films in general, not just the MCU, but the Marvel films in general, which was pretty awesome to see.
yeah. Obviously we're fanboys. We talk about Marvel, especially the films and shows, a ton. Um, we talked about last week. He would have turned 100
Yeah,
if he had still been alive. Um, him. I think from the comic book side, when you think about DC, for example, can you name, because obviously there is no debate. There are only two major comic book companies out there, and that's DC and Marvel.
right,
No one else is even close, right? It's like
right.
there's WWE and everyone else. AEW is kind of coming up, but
They're trying to.
yeah, no, who knows how long that'll last before they self implode. But there's Marvel and there's DC.
Right.
Who can you name from DC?
Um, I feel like I should know, but like even Batman's had so many different authors and stuff like that throughout, or artists and stuff like that work on that throughout the time. I couldn't tell you.
I'm surprised. I thought you would have at least come up with Siegel because that's kind of the one that everybody goes to. But that's about it. Like most mainstream comic book fans can't name, a bunch of DC creators, and there wasn't one main driving force at
Yeah,
DC.
there was a lot.
Where at Marvel, you had one main driving force. You
Yep.
had a lot of talented creators as well, like Jack Kirby working with him, but there was really one Kevin Feige, one Walt Disney, right? And it
Right.
was Stan
Stan
Lee.
Lee.
Um, and so I think him getting this documentary or whatever it's going to be special on the life and times and whatnot, I think it's well deserved,
Oh yeah.
and I look forward to watching it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Like, I mean, like Stan Lee. I mean, I like honestly the first comic books I was ever introduced to, and I think we talked about that, in prior episodes. Marvel were the first comic books I was ever introduced to. Um, the X-Men comics were actually like if you look at the X-Men comics, they like in the 90s, they basically translated straight onto the animated series. Like it's crazy, so yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for this one. Stan Lee has always been um I I don't even really remember how I even learned about Stan Lee. It was just kind of like his name popped up and then it just popped up everywhere. Anytime a comic book movie was coming out, oh, Stan Lee, Stan Lee this, Stan Lee that. And it was just like, oh, I guess this guy's important, And then like as I got older and really understanding like like his just the catalog of characters that he created, along with Jack Kirby, what? Like it's crazy that that one man, that's do you know how much imagination that takes? Because none of those characters are the same, like all of them. And that's the one thing too, another thing that we've talked about before. The one thing I've always really liked about Marvel characters too is that they're flawed. Like they're not they're not automatically in well in most cases they're not like automatically like have these godlike powers, like Superman, you know. Um he had these powers just like all of a sudden. Whereas like, they grew it like in X-Men, for example, like they something traumatic would happen and that's what would spark their powers off, like they were just normal and then all of a sudden that gene would kick in, like, and the, all of a sudden they lose control and they have to run away and stuff like that. But like Marvel's just again, hands down, just one of my favorites.
Agreed. Agreed. Speaking of favorites, I created something in the last couple days that I think is going to be my new favorite. That I am now happy to share here on the show with all y'all, and hope that each of you will go and get one for yourself. That is the official Fat and Black
Yes.
Connection Hawaiian shirt.
That's awesome.
So we've been working on creating different merch and things here. I had a lot of fun making this one. Turned out a lot better than what I was thinking. Also, just for you, James.
Yeah, that's the I'm juiced, bro. I'm juiced, bro.
That's right. He's juiced.
Yeah.
And we got Matt Murray checking in. He needs that shirt. Well, my friend, you can go purchase that shirt right now on Etsy in the 97 to Now store. So please feel free to head on over there and okay, I think that's the quota, guys. But yes, you can head on over to that store, the 97 to Now, because I think we fulfilled the quota. But yeah, I'm Juice Bro. We've got the Fat and Black Connection. I also made this one for you and me because we're Nevada guys. And I was nice. I gave you top billing, Vegas on top, Reno on bottom.
Okay.
And that's right. I made this. I custom designed this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun, making these different items, and I look forward to procuring some of them myself. Speaking of, we also have made some swag and some nice items
exclusive
for our upcoming Alaska cruise. And as you can see, it's got the dates of the cruise. It's got the cities that we're heading to. It's going to be nice.
Yes.
We also we made a bowling shirt.
Yeah.
It's got the logo on the front, little pocket over here on the side.
Yeah.
And I really like this logo over here. You can't see it in this angle, but it's basically the outline of the state of Alaska with the word Alaska.
Yeah.
And of course the cruise logo on the back. So we're putting in some work over here, trying to make some cool things for the people out there.
We got if you go to the page, check it out, because there's everything from just pins, there's magnets, bottle openers, we got hats, multiple hats, we got coffee mugs. So 97 Now, we out here.
For show. It's real. It's
we got Murphy's Inc. swag. We got Fat and Black Connection swag. So
absolutely. And just because, why not? I'm gonna go ahead and throw this up there if you're needing it. Boom.
Oh yeah. Go to it.
There you go.
Add it to your favorites, like I did. You can get the app. You can even get the app on your phone, or whatever device you use, and the Etsy app. And you can favorite our store. You can go online, favorite our store, however you do it, because there's new stuff coming
all the time. as the hits roll here, as James says something silly or ridiculous, we'll
That's where oh, and what's the other one? What's Deca shirt?
oh yes, yes,
Yeah.
it's Deca.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're and I did make a custom California shirt for you Cali nerds too. Um,
And then the New York one, which I was like, who lives in New York? I don't know. But hey, why
like
not?
24 million people. It's called pandering.
Yeah. Right here.
But yes,
in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
James did mention, and it is one of my favorite items, and that's the bottle opener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me talk to you.
So, like I said, we're here, we're doing work. If you've got ideas, if you'd like to see a design,
Yeah.
hit
us up.
Yeah, we're happy to help your vision come to reality. So, James,
Yes, sir.
what's going on with you? I've covered the majority of the topics that I wanted to talk about today.
Oh man, not a whole lot, bro. Like, actually, it looks like the the airports are finally clearing up some.
Nice, nice. Yeah, Southwest is kind of trying to get to some sense of normalcy.
Yeah.
Did you hear they're giving away 25,000 points or air miles or whatever you call them to everyone who was affected? Not only are they giving them refunds on their flights, but also,
Oh, that's good.
redemption or not redemption. They're giving them, reimbursements for any expenses they might have had. But they're also giving 25,000 points, which is approximately $300.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, actually, it was kind of funny because one of the I don't remember which one it was, but one of the adult establishment dancing facilities was offering a free lap uh, lap
Experience.
yeah, free lap experience and I think a drink if your flight was canceled. They would actually come to the airport, pick you up, and then take you to their spot. You get that couple free things, and then I don't know.
They probably have a buffet in there too.
Yeah, so I was just like, that's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Now, here's what I found mind boggling. So, all the airports, or all the airlines, I should say, they're required by law to provide certain things for people that are, missing their flights,
That's what I thought.
such as hotel rooms,
Yeah,
such as uh, an amount for food or clothing, things of that nature,
that's
essentials.
what I because they basically well, I mean, no, for anybody that's on Southwest for the most part, but their bags they've actually, and that's the problem now is that bags are lost because they went and stayed where they were supposed to go and people didn't get there, and so I mean they hold on to that stuff, but it's like, yo, that's a pain in the butt. And so like, yeah, now bags and stuff like that are all kind of messed up, and so people are trying to get their stuff back and all that kind of jazz. I'm like, yo, like what? But yeah, no, and that's what I thought they're supposed to give like for rooms and stuff like that. If
Mhm.
their flight gets canceled, and like especially if a flight lands but people can't leave, they're supposed to get them like some sort of rooms type stipend. And
It's not just for those people, it's for anyone. If you had a flight booked and you're
Mhm.
supposed to be leaving today to go to wherever and you're stuck in the airport, I think it's more if they're saying you're going to be delayed for sure overnight, or if you're going to be delayed more than 8 hours, that's where they have to start providing food vouchers.
Oh wow.
If it's an overnight thing, they have to provide hotel rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And I
crazy.
think a lot of people don't know this, and they're not going to just offer it. You've got to go say, "Hey, where's my room?"
Okay, that's what I was confused by. I was like, "Yo, are they giving you like? Are you getting like a room or anything?" They were like, I don't know anything," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Because I didn't. I was like, I didn't tell people because I was like, "Yo, I think you should." I mean, like, should probably go talk to them about that for real. But because yeah, there, like I said, there was people staying in the airport. Like I told you, one of the guys he'd been there like uh at least a day, and he was there like I think he said like they said 1.5 days, just because like his flights got canceled. I was like, yo, there's no chance in hell.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there, like I said, there are a lot of things out there that people don't know, and you got to ask questions.
Gotta ask. Closed mouth don't get fed.
That's for sure. That's for sure. So,
Oh, actually, you know what? There's something else. I actually was acting lead on Monday, which was kind of hectic, but it was actually a really good experience for me. Oh,
elaborate. What does
okay.
that mean?
Oh, acting lead. Okay, so basically, I was over two lanes, and just making sure. Basically, it's more of like it's not a supervisory, it's more like I guess kind of supervisor because you're kind of managing the lanes, making sure everybody's where they need to be. If somebody needs to get tapped out, so that we can get rotations going. If somebody has to use the bathroom, or whatever, like really bad, I can step in, take over that spot for them. They come back, I just move on and kind of float around to see where I'm needed. So it was actually really good. I got a lot of good feedback from my direct supervisor was like, "Yo, I did this because I wanted to give you a little bit more responsibility. And from what I've heard from everybody, you did a great job. You did not a great job, but you did a good job. So, I told him, I was like, hey, man, I appreciate that because that was, yeah, a slower day would have been nice, but, learning under kind of more hectic circumstances because it was a Monday, which is normally a busy day, and then it was the day after a major holiday, so that was all. So that added on top of it, but it was really good experience for me to learn kind of the ins and the more inner workings of what we do. So
Nice. Well, since we're at a point in the show where I feel like probably those that are here are going to stick around regardless of what we talk about, I feel like now's a good time to talk about some wrestling stuff.
oh yes.
So, have you been following along with the Epic of Gilgamesh that is the Sasha Banks story?
Yeah, apparently my girl Mercedes.
Mercedes
Oh,
Monet.
which is yeah, which is hard. That's like that's new to me. I mean, I know her name is Mercedes, but that Monet, she's keeping that Banks thing going on. Nice change of hair color. I'm digging it. But she's with New
New
Japan.
Japan.
Yeah, yeah.
Did now did you happen to watch and see her come out, see her intro, and
I didn't see the intro or anything like that. All I saw was the champ. I guess it was the champion. She got in the ring.
Kyrie Sane?
Oh, that's who that is.
Yes.
Crazy. Anyways, I saw her shake her hand, and then did the classic. Uh, well, I'll say classic Banks, but in this case, Monet. She did the classic backstab move. Where she
That
hit her
was not
with
the
no,
backstabber.
she didn't hit her with the backstabber. I'm talking about she did her that things
So
where she just
you
kind of
saw
turns
that
on. Yeah, I
you
saw
saw
that.
that botched move because that thing looked like garbage.
Well, yeah, like I said, it was a quick clip.
Yeah, you can find the full. It's like 8 minutes of her coming down the ramp, coming to the ring. She gets on the mic and talks, which was bad as well. And then she hits that move, and it was bad. I I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed. Now, here's the other thing that was really important about this New Japan event was that Shinsuke Nakamura actually was in that event, and he is still under contract. Hunter Triple H or Paul Levesque, for those of you, allowed him to go participate in a
Oh,
retirement match for this great Japanese wrestler. I can't remember his name right now. But ultimately, that doesn't happen.
no, that never
And
happens.
so the rumors had been all along that Sasha Banks or Mercedes Monet was going to New Japan. Uh, but there have also been rumors of Kyrie Sane coming to the Royal Rumble,
Ooh.
and with some cross promotion with The fact that
Yo,
Shinsuke was at New Japan.
That could be huge.
But could we still see Sasha Banks potentially at the Royal Rumble?
Oh man. Oh, I hope. Actually, you know who I hope comes back? I hope Naomi comes back too. I've missed her. But yeah, no, that could be that'd be dope.
Well,
I ain't gonna lie.
here's the biggest question of them all. On the women's side, who do you see winning the Royal Rumble? We're about 3 weeks out, less than 3 weeks out. Who do you think realistically wins the women's Royal Rumble? Because right now, who are you excited to see in a women's Royal Rumble?
I really don't care like right now. Like the one of like a couple of them that I like. Well, like the only ones I'm really I'm saying interested to see who comes out for the women's Royal Rumble. But like honestly, I could see some of there's going to be a good number of NXT women coming over. I'm sure Toxic Attraction probably will come over for
Who?
that. Toxic Attraction.
Who?
Oh yeah. Well, at least JC and Gigi. Seeing as Mandy Rose is no longer with the company. She got future endeavored, if you will.
Evidently, she made $1 million last year off of her
and it's
website.
not even, yeah. And so she's not gonna be hurting for money.
No.
But and like her fans will continue to give her an absorbent amount of money that she requests, and it's like I know. But I could see them coming over. I could see if Raquel Rodriguez or Gonzalez if she's which I don't think she'll be healed in time 100%. I could see her winning. But like I said, Bianca Belair is already the champion. Charlotte Flair is champion again. Irritating.
So she won't likely be in the Rumble, which is good.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't know. Maybe see Liv Morgan get another shot. Shotzi. That was kind of that's an entertaining little feud there. As long as it's not like Shayna Baszler or something. Like Shayna Baszler can be good, but Shayna Baszler is zero mic skills. Like zero mic skills. Actually, that's a problem with a lot of the wrestlers now. It's just they don't have mouthpieces anymore. Like back during the Attitude Era. I mean, if you couldn't talk on the mic, you were, you didn't have a whole lot to do. That's why, like Brock Lesnar, like he needed Paul Heyman because when he tries to talk on the mic, he sounds horrible.
And Matt would like to know, do you think Charlotte Flair is too cocky?
I just don't think she. Yes, and it's like she says she's not writing the name. That's totally what she's writing.
Who's a better wrestler than her?
I think actually, honestly, I think Bianca Belair is better than her.
You think technical wrestling, Bianca Belair is better?
Athletically and I just think she's better. I think she's better than Charlotte Flair.
I think Bianca Belair is stale and boring. I think she has way overrun her time. Getting the championship at WrestleMania, holding it for a couple of months, I think would have been fine. I think at this point, it's boring, it's stale. She needs to lose the belt. It's time for her to go for a little bit. I don't. There's nothing appealing about her to me. There's nothing character-wise. She's a decent wrestler. She's a strong man, as they call the men. But she's not technically, I think, that great of a wrestler. I think she can pull off strongman moves just like Braun Strowman can. But I don't find her engaging or entertaining, frankly. Uh, Similar to the majority of a lot of the women, I think Becky Lynch is an exception. I think Bailey is an exception. I think Charlotte Flair is an exception. I think part of Charlotte Flair's appeal is that Flair cockiness.
Yeah.
One of the reasons Ric Flair was the man is because he said he was, uh, and he lived it. And there's a new special on Peacock. I don't know if you watched it about Ric Flair
Woo!
becoming Ric Flair, or whatever. And it's extremely entertaining, but it's real life, man. Like you, to an extent, have to live the persona. I mean, that's part of why Mark Calloway, also known as the Undertaker, was so successful, is because he lived that character.
Yeah.
I don't get it from the vast majority of the women in WWE. I think there are those few. I'll even give credit to what's her name, little blonde girl,
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. I think she is, for the most part, technically strong. Character is extremely strong.
That's why I'm glad I'm kind of glad they're going back, because she was becoming really stale to me as this, like, person in control, especially after the whole thing with before he left with the Fiend and everything. That whole thing with her, and having those crazy moments was amazing.
And Matt calls out Eye Candy, Tori Wilson, and Stacy Keibler.
Because look, yes, I do miss them as well, but that's literally all they were. Tori Wilson was actually, she had some decent matches, but Stacy Keibler, awful, absolute fine, but awful.
Might as well be Kelly.
Hello.
I don't know. I guarantee you we're going to see.
We'll see
the three that were just mentioned, Kelly, Tori Wilson, or Stacey
actually,
Keibler,
probably not.
We'll see at least one of them at the Rumble.
I'll give you two. I think because Kelly will probably be there, and Tori Wilson, but Stacy Keibler, I think she's done. What's her name? I heard is possibly coming back. Trish Stratus, I heard, might be there. Actually, you know who I hope is there is, because I would like to see a WrestleMania match. Lita,
strong women's wrestler.
Yeah, definitely changed. Actually, she was the one that really she also helped with that change of the respect. Beth Phoenix, I kind of hope is there.
I would expect that Beth would be there because I'm sure Edge will be there. Her husband.
And that's what I'm saying, because of what I think they won't win. They won't win the Royal Rumble matches, but I believe that's going to set up the kind of final match between Judgment Day. I don't know if it'll be Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. Oh, actually, no, it'll probably end up being Dominic and Rhea Ripley versus which he is, for being a Mysterio, he's not great. He should have been in NXT first. I don't think he should have just jumped main roster anyways, but that's beside the point. But I think it'll end up being Dominic and Rhea Ripley versus Edge and Beth Phoenix.
Interesting. And that will be at WrestleMania?
Yeah, that's WrestleMania day one, mid card.
Okay.
That's what I'm sticking with right now. I'm thinking WrestleMania day one, mid card, somewhere in there. That'll be in there.
So who wins the Women's Royal Rumble?
Who wins the Women's Royal
Rumble?
Not
who do you want to see? Who's going to win?
Who's going to win? I don't know. I'm probably Becky Lynch.
Interesting.
Probably Becky Lynch. She's gonna come in midway, I believe. She's not going to start the thing. I mean, she could also start the thing, but and go the distance. But I think she'll start somewhere. She'll come out somewhere in the middle, and she'll figure out how to win. Oh wait, dang, I forgot. And I think it's going to end up coming down to her and Bailey, and then depending on when the tag team match is, that'll determine if Dakota and Io get involved in that outcome.
Okay. So James is going with Becky Lynch to win the Rumble. So she'll be a two-time Women's Royal Rumble champion or
Yeah,
winner.
yeah.
I don't see that happening, but
Who you thinking?
I think it's going to be a dark horse. I think it's going to be somebody like a Doudrop. Um,
Is she still in the contract?
yeah. She's having visa issues.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yes.
Okay, that's
I'm
why she
thinking
hasn't.
it's going to be a dark horse. I don't.
Oh, actually, yeah. Now you say dark horse. What's her face? Nikki
Nikki Cross,
Cross. Yeah.
because there a lot of the rumors are that Sanity is coming back.
Oh, finally.
Yes. Well, what's his name? Who was there, the leader of Sanity, and then went back to TNA, and
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't
who was
remember his name.
wasted, absolutely wasted on the main roster.
Yeah, like that's
Uh,
what they did. That was the Vince.
he is done with TNA, so it sounds like
Okay.
he's coming back. So it does sound like Sanity's coming back. I could see Nikki Cross potentially being a dark horse winner. I don't think it's going to be a mainstream person. I think, the main event, or not the main event, but the women's championship is going to be on the line. You're going to see Charlotte and Ronda probably in a rematch, and it'll be Ronda's last match in the company. And then you'll see, and she won't go in the Rumble, and then you'll probably see, Bliss and Belair, and I'm hoping that Bliss goes over. Bianca will be in the Rumble probably after losing the belt, and she will have a good show. She'll probably be in the final 5 or 6, but she will not win. Like I said, I'm going with a dark horse or a surprise entrant, but I don't think it's going to be anybody that's really been in the main event scene in the last year.
Yeah, like I could see. Yeah, like I said, I think like Alba Fire will probably come over from NXT. She'll probably end up having a run in with the other chick. Oh, you know who? Now her name is Valkyrie. Will probably be in that match too.
She'll be in the Rumble for sure, but
Yeah, she's not going
I
to
don't.
be.
I could see Rhea Ripley winning. That would be because I think she's had a main event or an almost main event match at WrestleMania against Charlotte Flair for the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
I think that I think Rhea's ready, and I think she could win that. But that calls into question what you brought up.
Yeah.
And Matt's thinking Trish Stratus as a late entry. Yeah, I could see her coming in the high teens, low 20s, giving a good run for, maybe even making it into the top 6 or the final 6, but I don't think she makes it in the final 4 or even better. Let's talk about the men's side, because that's where I think we're going to have, I think, potentially a lot of moments.
I hopefully I need another Kofi Kingston save moment. I love those.
You mean you don't want him to botch again like he did last year?
Yeah, please don't. But no,
you want a Kofi mania, not a botch mania.
No, not even Kofi mania. I like his save moments are always for the most part classic. Like I remember the pogo chair one. dude, man, now I'm gonna have to go pee. But like the pogo chair, the handstand one was good. The leaping to the barricade and
Ladies and
almost
gentlemen, in the Fat and Black audience, we are fancy here at the Fat and Black Connection. We drink Pinot Grigio out of a box in our pint glasses.
yeah, classic. But yeah, no, that's I always like to see that. I would love to see. I would love for Big E to return. Um, I believe Cody is going to be is ready to return.
I I am not guaranteeing. I feel very confident in what I'm about to say, but we are going to see a moment in the ring with two competitors and a showdown that you're never going to think of. And one of them is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the other is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The two of them, I believe, are both going to be surprise entrants in the Rumble. One of them is going to be my pick for the winner of the Royal Rumble.
The Rock to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Mania. Yes.
Yeah. Second day main event if that happens.
Yes.
But yeah, I actually listen. I don't care what anybody says.
Stone Cold is coming back for another WrestleMania match.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love just to see The Rock get stunned again, just one time, because The Rock taking a stunner is probably some of the best work, just one of the best putovers of that move. He sells it. He sells it so hard, just like the what was it? The pop up, the stun, and like frozen for a minute, falls back and tumbles over. It was oh man, like watch some of the old stunner. I think there's a compilation of The Rock taking stunners on YouTube. It's great. It's so good.
And Matt misses The Rock and Stone Cold absolutely. I mean, it's one of the worst kept secrets that if The Rock's schedule allows him, he is going to be at Mania against Roman Reigns.
They even teased that on Young Rock.
Yeah, so it's all but a foregone conclusion at this point. But I think Stone Cold's going to be back for another match at WrestleMania.
Chris, you want to bet your beard on it? If you have another one,
it's been almost a year. Remember, he's growing a yeared, and so I would love to have that moment where, let's say Stone Cold comes in somewhere around 15, and over the course of the next 5 or 6 guys, he gets them all out of the ring, and it's just him standing there, sitting on the top rope, looking at his watch. And then if you smell, and Rock. you have the face off at around Rock coming in around 22, and it's just the two of them in the ring for 3 minutes, hitting spots, having fun.
Now that clock seems really off because I remember
it is.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I have sat for the last 4 or 5 years. I have my little stopwatch running, and it is generally around 2 to 3 minutes.
Now, because now here's the question: does that 3 minutes start when their music hits? Like just when their music hits, or is it 3 minutes? Is it 3 minutes when they get to the ring?
It's never been officially said. I start my timer, or I do what on the phone it's called lapping. So the second the timer hits 0, I hit lap. Mm-hmm. To me, that's when the next 3 minutes starts. Logically, it shouldn't be when they hit the ring, because there's some guys that take their sweet time getting.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it should be if music hits. Man, those runways have been so long lately.
Well, yeah, because they started doing them in baseball stadiums.
Yeah, I'm like, yo.
So yes, going back to my winner of the Men's Royal Rumble is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Okay. where do you have any interesting spots that you're predicting, or any surprise entrants that you're predicting, or anything like that?
Um, not really. I mean, I'm thinking. Actually, you know who I actually? Oh man, he's. I wish he wasn't in AEW, and I wish they hadn't wasted his talent on WWE when he came over to the main roster. I would love Keith. I loved. Oh man, I loved Keith Lee.
He will not be there, so don't
Yeah,
even.
I know. Oh, speaking of Keith Lee, Mia Yim. Actually, you know what? Hopefully, you know what? I'd like to see. I would like to see Karrion Cross do well. I would like to see him do well. Um,
Is he who you're predicting to win, or
no. I think if they are there, I think I'm gonna have to roll with you on that one with The Rock. Actually, I'd like to see Ciampa get back in the ring. So yeah.
I do think we're going to see a DIY reunion.
Yeah, I just need just for a minute. I don't even need the whole thing, but just at least just the kick.
I think that they're going to be the ones that go on a run to challenge at Mania for the belts, for the tag belts.
See, I only if Johnny Gargano is like super suspicious the entire time, because Ciampa's turned on him way too many times for him to like team up with him again.
Yeah, that was in NXT.
Stuff follows, bro. Stuff follows.
So that's your pick. You're going with The Rock to win the Rumble if he shows
if he's
up?
there. If he's there, yeah.
If he's not,
then I'm definitely thinking Karrion Cross.
okay. So it's The Rock or Karrion Cross are your picks, and I believe The Rock is going to be there, and that's going to be my pick. But obviously, that's a huge if, right? And
Yeah.
so you're good to say, because if he's not there, that really changes a lot of things. Because I think if he's not there, then the whole plan for Roman and Rock is done.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen at Mania, which would be really disappointing because it's in Hollywood.
Yeah, that is the most setup of setups.
And it is Triple H's first Mania at the
At
wheel.
the helm, yeah, bro. If he could pull that, bro.
And him and The Rock have that relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time they were setting up them having a match, and I think if Hunter hadn't had the health issues, it would have happened.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. If The Rock isn't there to have a good backup, and I would agree, I'd like it to be somebody that hasn't been overplayed. But there is one person that I would love to see win it, who's already won it, that I think is probably had the last year a resurgence in their career, and again would be well deserved, and that's Sheamus.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of because I think they were pushing. Actually, well, I think they're pushing Braun Strowman on the Intercontinental Championship now, because Intercontinental Championship is the one Sheamus hasn't won yet. Yes, and actually, you know who else I think will? No, he'll probably end up challenging. He'll probably end up working out a challenge at the Rumble. Excuse me, was KO. I was thinking him, but
no, Kevin. So here's my prediction. If I'm wrong about DIY, my prediction for Mania otherwise would be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos.
Oh, Sami Zayn turns?
Yes.
Yikes.
And that's going to happen at Mania. I'm sorry, at the Rumble.
Oh, yikes. Yikes. I don't know. Yeah, because I mean, I guess, well, does Sami turn, or does Roman turn on Sami? Or does the Bloodline turn on Sami?
Bloodline turns on Sami at Roman's direction.
Because he lost, or he's going to end up losing somewhere else along the way.
I think we're going to see, and it hasn't been set, but I think it's going to be at the Rumble, Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Raw title, not for both.
Just
And
one.
Kevin Owens is going to win.
Mm. And Sami Zayn's going to be to blame.
Yep.
Or he's going to be to blame, but he actually, yeah.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I've been wanting him out of. Honestly, I've been wanting him out of the bloodline, anyways. I mean, I didn't like it when he joined, and
the bloodline's going to implode. Roman's going to be gone after Mania, so I think
I'd say, you know what though? I think that I think Solo and the Usos could stick together, if anything. I mean, they don't even have to be the bloodline; they could be whatever. But I think those three, they're brothers. So I mean, I could definitely see them sticking together without Roman if need be.
Well, and they're going to have to. I mean, Roman
is he just taking time off, or is he?
No, he's done. He's ready to move on. He'll probably fulfill that Cena Rock kind of role where he'll come back occasionally, but he's more or less done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he said when he came back from, beating leukemia again, is that he wanted to, have a good run again and do it for a bit and then focus on other things.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think he's had a hell of a run.
Yeah.
He's been protected, of course. But I think he deserves his time to, try other things if that's what he wants to do. I think as long as Jason Momoa is out there acting, he doesn't have much of a shot at stuff because Momoa is a better actor.
He'll be able to get into another. Well, he did that Hobbs and Shaw flick. He was in there.
I mean, in a bit role, and if it hadn't been for his cousin,
yeah, he probably wouldn't have been in there. But I'm just saying, like, I think like whatever he tries to do, I think he'll probably end up getting some. He'll end up getting some stuff. So regardless.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure he's made enough in the last 2 years that he's fine.
Yeah,
2+ years, almost 3 years now, because
he's
held a title for more than 800 and some odd days. So
yeah, he's good.
So well over 2 years.
Make some TV appearances and be done with it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have what they call the standard Legends contract, where you show up a couple times a year and you don't go work for anyone else, and you get paid from WWE just for that, and you're welcome to go make money elsewhere too.
Do some random house shows somewhere.
What?
No, you go do like actually Roman's probably too big for like BTW and stuff like that. You know how those guys were used to
BT Dub.
How those guys used to show up to do the autograph signings. And
there's my surprise. That's my surprise entrant for the Rumble. That's going to show up.
Shane Cody
with his cowbell. No, Chris Masters.
You know what? I was so upset when he left because he was actually starting to go over at that point. And then all of a sudden he's a
BTW guy. I think he is going to get the call to be a surprise entrant.
The Master Lock.
Yeah, he won't get anywhere. Like, no. At best he'll, eliminate a person or two, but if he lasts in the ring more than like 5 minutes, that'll be great.
Yeah, get the Master Lock on somebody, pass him out, and then toss him over.
It'll be Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley will come in and eliminate him.
Oh, yeah.
With the Hurt Lock.
Oh, yeah, because I guess, Bobby
Lashley was the only person to ever break the Master Lock.
I thought, was he the only one? I thought Cena did.
He might have, but Bobby Lashley was the first. I know.
Yeah, because I know he just, Bobby Lashley got into it and just said, "Gah."
Yeah. So I think that would be a good way. I think Cena's going to be in the Rumble.
Just do is the 5 moves of doom or 7 moves of doom,
Six.
6 moves of
Six.
doom. That's right.
Gotta remember the fire dragon punch or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's going to be in the Rumble. It's going to help set up his Mania match, which is currently rumored to be Cody Rhodes.
Interesting. Okay.
So here's the rumor: if The Rock is there, it'll be Rock Roman Reigns.
Right.
If he's not, it will be Cody Roman Reigns.
Okay.
So I think those rumors are strong and probably accurate.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You got anything else on the docket, my friend?
Nope.
What do you think about Rumble? Should we live broadcast during the Rumble?
Um,
Are you working? I don't.
I'm
even know.
working. Well, what is it? It starts what time? Like 5 or something like that? 4?
East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast.
Usually it starts at 4, but that's the pre-show, and
Yeah, I don't care about. They don't do matches
so
during the
5.
pre-show anyway. Yeah, I'm still gonna be. I don't get off of work till 7:30.
That's unfortunate, man.
Yeah,
Maybe you could get sick or something.
maybe. But if anything, like we can talk results. We can talk results.
Absolutely. Well, I don't have anything else to discuss. I feel we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, we did. And I'm actually glad we talked about wrestling.
It's that time of year. We're going into Rumble and soon Mania.
Yeah,
It's hard to not talk about some of this stuff.
Yeah, can't miss it. Can't miss it.
Yeah.
Even if you're just an occasional watcher, you watch those 2 events at least.
Yeah.
And the Raw after Mania.
Well, yeah. That whole weekend, there's so much.
Yeah, NXT. Yeah, because I mean, like last year, it was almost too much because it was SmackDown, then the Hall of Fame, and then afternoon on Saturday was NXT Stand and Deliver, and then it was a Mania day 1, and then Mania day 2. I was like, yo, I am wrestled out right now. And then the Raw after Mania, I was like, yo, it's just too much right now. I can't. Oh, what's Logan Paul's? Oh, I can't stand that fool, but he'll probably end up being in there. He has to be in there. You think his brother will show up?
If he is not injured, if he's back healthy.
Oh, that's right. He got hurt. I forgot about that.
Yeah, if he's back.
You think his brother will? If he's injured, do you think his brother?
It's all a matter of how things shake out. But the other big rumor, depending on how things shake out, was Logan Paul, John Cena.
Yeah, I was kind of upset that match with Roman Reigns went way too long, honestly. But I understand it was Crown Jewel, and so I get it. But yeah, no, yeah, I mean, actually, because then only if John Cena comes back as the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Why? He already did that. He did that 2 years ago or whatever.
No, he did. That was more than that with Elias, but that was actually I really enjoyed that one.
Doctor of Thugonomics was with Bray Wyatt.
No, it wasn't with Bray Wyatt. He was John Cena with Bray Wyatt. Elias was supposed to have that concert at Mania, and John Cena came out and had a
that's right,
impromptu match. The one with Bray Wyatt was actually that weird video segment that like jumped to all those different things. It was weird, and Cena like disappeared after that. It was weird. Yeah.
But I know you're a Cena fanboy, so I'm sure you wouldn't like to necessarily see him wasted on a Logan Paul.
As long as he beats Logan Paul, that's all. I just don't like Logan Paul. To me, was a.
Here's the Logan Paul match I want to see at WrestleMania. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Logan Paul versus who you think I'm going to say? Pat McAfee.
Yo, is Pat McAfee done or what's the deal?
So clearly you don't watch SmackDown. Pat McAfee is on a break.
Yeah. Okay. No, I watch SmackDown every week. I know he was. I know they said something about him being on a break, but then like he hasn't been. Like I thought he would at least when they. Oh, I guess since season's almost over, he should hopefully be back. But if they do bring him back, well, they can't put him on. They can't put him on Raw because him and Graves don't really get along. But they need to get rid of that. They need to get rid of the dude with Graves. Like I don't understand why Byron is in the back doing stuff. He should be. He is a way better commentator than that dude they have out there. He's garbage.
I don't enjoy Byron Saxon, so I'm not sad to see him not there, but I don't disagree. But it's hard when you've got a guy like Corey Graves. I mean, that's like saying Bobby Heenan with anyone. I mean,
that's true. I mean, Corey Graves. I mean, don't but I liked Pat McAfee with actually, you know what? If you put Pat McAfee back with Michael Cole, and you take Barrett and you put him with Graves, I think that could work for me. But then you have like two heel commentators almost. Sort of. Not really heel commentators, but
it's all a matter of how they spin it.
Yeah, So I mean, but yeah, I would much rather see that. I actually really like Booker T. Actually, you know, if they moved Booker T over to he doesn't want to travel that much. That's the problem right there. So yeah, no, leave Booker T over on NXT. I like him over there. I like the guy he's with over there. That's fine to me. But yeah, I think if you moved Barrett to Raw, get rid of that other guy, and then because they got rid of they went back to 2-man teams. So if you move Barrett over to Raw and you bring McAfee back to SmackDown, I would thoroughly enjoy that.
I still think they need to bring back JBL.
I think he's
he's probably having too much fun though right now.
Yeah, literally, he shows up with Corbin and he does his shtick on the commentator table and then he leaves.
He's probably getting paid way too much money.
Probably, and he doesn't like. And that's the thing is like, Corbin definitely does not deserve a wrestling god title even attached to his name. Modern day wrestling god. No, not Baron Corbin. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. I'm not a Baron Corbin fan at all.
I liked Baron Corbin. I liked Baron Corbin at the beginning, like the lone wolf Baron Corbin. I really liked, but then when he cut his hair and became like Constable or whatever, I was like, I'm done with you, bro. And ever since then, I haven't liked him. Ever since that lone wolf persona dropped off, and he became basically like this kind of like corporate suck up kind of character with the shaved head and he was the Constable and fighting with. I was also kind of upset that he beat Angle in his last match. Like what? Like Baron Corbin of all people beat Kurt Angle? Like no, for Kurt Angle's last match. He should have won that. But anyways.
Something I want to put on your radar really quickly, in case you haven't heard of it, because I don't even think I had heard of this until I was on Netflix the other day. And, I like to tool around on there occasionally to see what's going on. And I came across this series and it was trending very highly in the US. And I know you like this actor as well as me, and that's Giancarlo Esposito. And this show is called Kaleidoscope. And I watched it over the last couple of days. It's pretty good.
Is it the entire season's out?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I know they were trying to do the whole weekly thing.
No. So here's the thing. With this series, there is no order to watch it in.
¿Por qué?
So the way that they release the series, they release it all at once, but you can, in essence, watch in any order that you want.
And it still makes sense?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes, the more episodes you watch, the more you can connect and put together. But ultimately, you could watch it in the sequence that it's on Netflix, or you can watch it in a random sequence and you'll still get the story. You don't have to watch them in order
I mean,
for
well, here's the thing. Do you need to watch at least the first one first?
no.
Oh, you can watch literally. So literally, you could watch the last one, the middle one, the first one, however many episodes there are, and you could just kind of tool around and watch them all, and you'd still get the story.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting.
I don't want to give anything away because the
Okay, yeah,
series
no,
did just come out on the first.
then I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check that out.
It is a pretty cool show. It's so it's basically around a group of thieves,
Okay.
kind of, and them setting up for a heist.
Okay.
So of course this appealed to me from the Murphy's Inc. perspective, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, you can watch this series in any sequence that you want. Um, and it's I think you'll enjoy it. So I meant to talk about this and include it in the original docket, but I forgot to do that. So
It's all good, man.
anyways, I think it's time we call it good, and let's shut her down. What do you think?
I say that is a good idea.
Well, to those of the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world,
This has been the Fat and Black Connection. Happy New Year's, people.
proudly produced by
97 and Now Productions. Ding.